Hello and welcome. It is now 2018. So I was thinking about maybe doing like a New Year's resolution video, but I never really have New Year's resolutions, and the reason why I don't generally have them is if there's something that I want to change, there's something that I want to do differently, I will generally tend to try and make that change as soon as possible instead of waiting for like a date in the calendar. I know that got this whole New Year, New You stuff, and it's like, it's rubbish really. And having said that, I actually have used that line once when I was trying to advertise my old dojo. Anyway, that's another story. So I think that's one reason why people struggle with New Year's resolutions so much is because if they really wanted to make the change, they wouldn't wait until the 1st of January to make the change. They would just do it. And to be honest, it wouldn't really be like a new year, new me. All I want to change is to go back to how I was, fit and active, being able to breathe. I don't know if you can hear on the camera, but my breathing's a bit heavy. So yeah, just being able to do exercise like I used to, being able to do karate like I used to. So it isn't a new year, new me. It's a new year, old me, which I want. But obviously, health is stopping that. I thought instead of doing that, I'd do reflect on some things I've learned. I was going to do a special things I've learned video for my birthday last year, and then I was going to do a resolutions video. But the thing is, I'm combining them into one, so it's a bit of a mishmash. Just looking at my laptop now, I've saved some stuff. I'm not sure where I put it. I'm sort of started making a list a while ago. I don't know. I'm just going to pick out the best ones from this list. So some of these are supposed to be slightly humorous. Some of these are supposed to be serious. I actually was writing them over a period of time, and I started writing this before my friend died, and then I was just like, I can't do this, and that was like a learning curve, but not in a good way. So anyway, number one is a little bit daft. So if you're messaging someone, you're messaging forwards and back, and it's someone that you like, if they send you kisses at the end of the message, that means nothing. Literally nothing. When I was younger, I used to think that maybe, oh, it means the person fancies me. They sent a kiss. And if they send 2 kisses or 3 kisses, and no, it means absolutely diddly squat. It doesn't mean a thing. Okay, if the person likes you, they'll tell you. They're not just going to do some kind of cryptic hint with X's and O's at the end of a message. Okay, it means nothing. Literally nothing. Maybe in your experience it does mean something, but in my experience, zip, nothing. So this one again is about other people and their odd behaviours. So if you suddenly lose the ability to drive, now this has happened to me twice. I've lost my licence twice due to my health. Not through bad driving. I don't have a single point on my licence, just want to make that clear. But I used to go out a lot in the evening before I really suffered with fatigue. I used to go out all the time. I used to go here, used to go there. I was like the centre of attention. Well, not the centre of attention. I've never wanted to be the centre of attention, but I've always been in the centre of where people are, And 2 occasions I lost my ability to drive through health. And the DVLA and the doctors say I'm good to drive now, but that was a mission. That's another story. I'm not sure if I've talked about that in the past. I might have done. Anyway, suddenly people don't want to know you. You go from Mr. Popular, getting calls and texts and messages at all times of day and night. Oh, Terry, can you drive me here? Terry, can you drive me there? Or it's, do you want to come here? Do you want to go to this place? Do you want to go to that place? But really they're saying, can I have a lift to this place and that place? Because they can't get there themselves. And then suddenly that just stops. Absolutely stops. You go from Mr. Popular to Mr. Nobody. And my mate Steve, who you've seen in some of our videos, a couple of years ago, his car died on him basically. So he was without a car for a little while. And he said exactly the same thing. Suddenly go from Mr. Popular, everyone wants your attention because you can drive. And then suddenly, oh, there's, no one wants to know. And then when you get the car back, suddenly it's, oh, can I have a lift here? Can I have a lift there? But yeah, so I've forgotten what my point was. People just you've got to look out for fake friends, shallow people. And number 3 on my list, I've actually put finding someone you can trust, completely is very important. Finding someone you can trust completely is actually really difficult, I find. There's people I would trust with certain levels of things, certain types of information or certain goods or something. And then there's people I wouldn't. And it's not to say they're not my friends or I don't want to hang out with them, but there's certain things I wouldn't say to certain people. And there's certain things I would say to other people, but I mean, my circle of friends is getting smaller every year, to be honest, as I'm cutting out all the incompatibility, shall we say. I was going to say something a bit harsher, but no, I don't want to be harsh about anyone, but what have I written as next for? Oh, I've actually written number 4. Finding someone you can trust completely is very difficult, which ties into number 3. Number 5, you will get hurt in life. That's all I've written. I don't know what I was thinking of when I wrote that, but it's true. You will get hurt. Everyone gets hurt in some way. There are many ways to get hurt, and there are many ways to get over it and deal with it. Some people cope better than others. It depends on the pain, it depends on the background, the history. Some people can move on quickly. Some people appear to move on. A lot of people appear to move on from pain or something really quickly, and on the outside they're all smiling. But the amount of people who are crying on the inside, you know, it's all happy and smiles. We all put on our fake smiles and the world is wonderful. But when we go home, so many people are hurting inside. But sometimes you can feel like you're alone. You think, oh, everyone else has got their life so worked out. They're so perfect in their own happy little world. And that's just not true. Then I put number 7, I've put, looking back at regrets is not healthy. Try to learn from them and not repeat them. I think we all kind of regret things at times. It's usually like in the middle of the night when you can't get to sleep and you're thinking about something, you're like, oh, why? You know, what if I'd done this? What if I'd done that? It doesn't help. Just move on. Do what Kylo Ren said. You've got to let the past die. Kill it if you have to. Just move on. Learn from it. Don't make the same mistake again. Problem is, in life, some people consistently make the same mistake over and over and over and over again. And you need to learn from it. I mean, I could say simple little thing like mistake, like the lighting here. But yeah, I am going to get a better setup soon, trust me. But I don't mean something silly like lighting in a video. I mean just in life, relationships. A friend of mine once posted on Facebook, the only common factor in all your failed relationships is you. Well, there we go. That's something to think about, isn't it? But I don't just mean relationships, in work. People go from job to job they don't like. They go from thing to thing they don't like. People do it all the time. People make mistakes all the time, but people don't always learn from the mistakes. But sometimes we do learn from the mistakes, but then we carry on making the same mistakes because we've learnt the lesson, but then we've ignored it. It's like, what was the point of that? So learn the lessons, move on, try and better yourself. Alright, I'm not sure what was going through my mind when I wrote this, but okay. I wrote this a while ago. So I put lust, infatuation, obsession are not even close to real love. I think I wrote that basically, if you know me from my other videos, you know that I work in care, and so I've often seen people's partners, you know, like a married couple, they've been married all their life, and one of them gets ill of dementia or something, and you see the devotion they put into looking after that person, and the selflessness, and what they do to help that person through their illness, thinking, you know, that is real love. Just the problem is when you're really young, you don't necessarily always know what love is. The problem is you've got no frame of reference. I mean, people can tell you what love is, and then you feel something and you think this must be love, but maybe that's just infatuation. And then you feel something different. I think maybe this is love, and that's not love, that's obsession. I used to know someone who was deeply obsessed with people, and he caused a lot of pain and heartache. wherever he went for his obsessions, which he thought were love. But let's not talk about him. But again, that ties into the earlier point. People make mistakes, and you have to learn from those mistakes. And hopefully you don't make the same mistake again. Going off on a bit of a tangent here, I've put, sometimes being random and spontaneous will lead to the best memories. And that is absolutely true. I used to go on so many random and spontaneous drives and missions everywhere, back when I had the energy to do that and the money for the fuel. Just get in the car with some people and just go. One of my best favourite nights, it was years ago, back when I worked in Wetherspoon. It was, I think it was about bonfire night, I think so, because everywhere was really foggy, all smoggy because of the smoke. And I think we got out of work about 2 in the morning, and just like, let's go for a random drive. They're like, all right. Oh, we ended up in some really weird places. I've never been able to find those places since. I've looked. I thought I found them once, but I didn't. And that was such a random night. We ended up in all sorts of weird, wonderful places. I might make another video. I might have made a video on that before. I can't remember what I've told you and what I haven't. I don't know. I seem to have a vague recollection about doing a video about that at some point. Anyway, but so when me and Laura used to go all the time, just spontaneously just go. We used to love those sort of things. We never knew where it would end up. It's just like, let's just go somewhere. Let's just get in the car and go. And yeah, and cherish those memories. Unfortunately, that's all I have left now, but I've talked about that in other videos. So you've got to be spontaneous. So I know some people that like things to be planned out. I've got other friends and they want to know exactly where we're going, what we're doing, when we're going to get there, how we're going to get there. And it's just like, that's not how I roll. That to me is not spontaneous, and it's not as fun. You can't just roll with it. Unfortunately, I've worked with people with autism and they very much like things to be planned out and know exactly what they're doing. So that's actually really difficult for me, but anyway. Okay, I'm not going to do that one. That was cheesy. That one's rubbish. Okay, then I was running out of ideas at this point, and I started just doing film quotes like, it can't rain all the time. And then, if someone asks you if you're a god, you say yes. That's something I learnt. It looks like I get serious again. Looks like I've written about grudges. Don't hold on to grudges. Let them go. Yes, people have disagreements. People will naturally fall out. Friends come together. Friends drift apart. It is the natural way of things. You come together, you drift apart. That is life. But I always try to, if a friendship has reached its natural conclusion, to leave on good terms so that there's no negative feelings to each other, no hostility. And in a way, you know, we're still friends. It's just that their life is now going this way and my life is now going this way. It's all it is. There's no hostility, there's no grudges. So always try to resolve everything, make sure that things are worked out, basically. But at the same time, when I say that, don't have an argument when you're angry. I mean, don't try and do things when you're angry, because you'll say things you regret, and that's not cool. So calm down, wait until both sides are calmed down, and just like, in 99% of the time, it's over the most stupid thing anyway. Someone can say something, and in the moment, you can find that quite offensive or hurtful or spiteful or just downright stupid. But then as time passes, you look back on it and think, do you know what? It's really not a big deal. So you've got to just learn to let things go. Just be cool with each other, you know? Okay, the friendship may have come to a natural conclusion. That happens. But always try to just end things on a good note, so you know things are good. You know, you don't want to like bump into someone in the street like years later, and then all you can remember the last time you saw them was this hostility that you had between each other. Just no, fix it. It is a bit more effort. I mean, if someone has to go from your life, then someone has to go. You don't want toxic people in your life. I'm not saying keep everyone, you know, really friendly, because the last thing you want to do is have a toxic person in your life who's bringing you down, who goes against your fundamental morals and core beliefs and whatever, that's fine to get rid of them, but do it on good terms. Don't just be like, I don't know, I'm just trying to think, oh, I don't know. Everyone's different. You've got to find a way yourself. Then I've got 19 with nothing written on it. Originally, this was supposed to be 20 things that I've learned, and I got as far as 18, and I haven't read them all out anyway, so I'm not actually sure how many I've read out. And some of them were silly. So moving forwards, 2018. If you've managed to get this far in the video, I just want to say I do have a Facebook and a Twitter. I've had them for quite a long time. A few people are on my Facebook, almost no one's on the Twitter. I kind of post things there thinking no one's ever going to see this, but you know what Twitter's like. Anyway, one day someone might look back on them. So anyway, I've got all that stuff. So if you want, check me out there. It's new color scheme for 2018. I changed the color. You may have noticed I changed the color scheme every year. So 2015 was yellow, 2016 was blue, 2017 was red, and 2018 is sort of a mix. What have I chosen? It's like yellow, green, blue. No, I can't remember what I've chosen now. Anyway, if there's anything you want me to film this year, I've got some ideas of things I want to do, but they all cost money, which I don't have. So if there's any ideas of anything you want me to film, write in the description down below, anything at all. If it's feasible that I can film it, then I will. If it's not feasible, then I won't. Alright, I'll see you later. Bye.